Turkey and the United States have a relationship that goes back decades, but it's also a relationship that's seen a number of ups and downs, including July 2016's failed coup by a group within the Turkish military. Turkey's labor minister went as far as accusing the United States of being behind the coup. Turkey's government is also upset that the US hasn't yet extradited Pennsylvania-based Turkish cleric Fethullah Gulen, who they claim orchestrated the coup. But the US-Turkey relationship is far too important for both sides to be upset at each other forever. And here's why. In recent times, the US-Turkish alliance has proven critical to both sides on the battlefield. The US has relied on Turkey for years to support its foreign policy in the region. Turkey served as a base of operations during the 1995 Bosnian War, the 1999 Kosovo War, and the 2001 Afghanistan War. And while Turkey refused to allow the US to invade Iraq from its territory or commit troops to coalition forces, it did allow the US to use the Incirlik base during the war. But it doesn't end there. The US designated longtime Turkish state enemy, the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK, as terrorists. The PKK is a Kurdish left-wing separatist group and has been involved in an armed struggle against Turkey for decades. And the United States also armed Syrian rebels allied with Turkey to weaken and bring down President Bashar al-Assad's government. And it's because of how strategically important Turkey is in the Syrian war that the relationship between DC and Ankara has become strained, thanks to ISIS. The US has accused Turkey of not doing enough to maintain its porous border with Syria, which has been the central crossing for thousands of foreign fighters into the war-torn country. That's the same porous border that ISIS has also used to sell oil from its territory on the black market. And as ISIS gained ground in both Syria and Iraq, tensions flared between the US and Turkey, even though the US was, once again, using the Incirlik base for operations against the group. But Turkey has its gripes with the US as well. In the fight against ISIS, the US teamed up with, guess who? Yep, the PKK, which has also been at the forefront of fighting ISIS. And that's got Turkey a little upset as the PKK, along with other Kurdish militias, continues to chip away at ISIS territory on the ground with US support from the sky. Turkey's also upset with the US for not implementing a no-fly zone along the Turkey-Syria border. For Turkey, that no-fly zone would mean curbing the flow of refugees across its borders. Currently, Turkey hosts 2.7 million refugees. Turkey and the US are both member states of NATO, and Turkey has served as a base for countering Soviet and later Russian influence in the region since 1952. And that pretty much means that it's held some of America's nukes on its soil ever since. That's important in case a nuclear war ever happens to erupt. According to the Federation of American Scientists, around 50 B-61 nuclear bombs are located at the Incirlik base. That's a quarter of NATO's nuclear arsenal, with each bomb more than 155 times stronger than the bombs that destroyed Hiroshima. So, despite all the ups and downs, the US-Turkish relationship remains vital to both sides.